Hi there, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. I constantly take a look at different topics of diabetes on YouTube, and I could think of name, I'm doing really good tonight. And while doing this, an interesting topic just kept coming because I got onto Labile Diabetes and the whole thought that maybe Labile Diabetes doesn't exist. The people don't like the name, that brittle, because people think it's something you do, and all of a sudden just because you do a name change, it's some people are just harder to control than others. And if you're, going through problems trying to solve your own diabetes, and I did it. I went through and I had to go and I had to check everything. So is Labile diabetes or brittle diabetes real? Yes, it is. I live it every single day. And, yes, I'm a big guy. I admit it. It's not sort of thing. You don't have to tell me I'm a big guy. But I didn't do anything to get in this mess. I was never totally big on exercise. Like, I didn't get up every day and go running 12 miles out to UBC and back to my home. My dad was very athletic, ran quite a bit. To me, I can't run. I could never run. Swimming, I could do okay. Like, I could probably swim for a while if I had to. But I've lived years of not being able to solve diabetes. When I have an appointment with my diabetic nurse, I can see her, even though it's a phone call, I can see her just scratching her head. And it was sort of a running joke that when I would go see her, I would have a low blood sugar. And I would end up bringing Coke to the appointment. I'm talking drinking Coke to the appointment because chances were I was going to be low. There were, and I had problems. The time, 2014, I went into the hospital. And I was in the hospital for 9 months. January to September. And I don't think during that time, during the beginning time, they put me onto this. What it really was overflow of emergency. People who had to stay in the hospital would go to this ward, and they decided I was too complex, or I was having too much of an issue. So I was sent up to what they call a high acuity unit. And a high acuity unit is, you're not quite ready for the ward, but you don't need to be in the ICU. And they put me there because they thought for sure I was sneaking insulin. And Travis, I think his name was my first nurse. And, I could tell originally that he thought that, yes, because the first 5 minutes I was in with him, I was having a low blood sugar. And it wasn't till I was passing out, and I was not right across the nurse's station, but they could see in. And, it was so boring. I didn't feel we were getting anywhere, because they all had to prove the point that I wasn't taking extra insulin. I would take my shot. They took everything. There was no needles in the room. There was no excess insulin. And you know what? I still went crazy. Not went crazy, but my blood sugars were unpredictable. So, from that time on, we started taking care of diabetes for me in a different way. And I told you during that time some of the crazy things we did, like having an egg for breakfast, and lunch you could have a little bit more starch, and dinner, and by bed your bedtime snack was. But I'm not only labile, I am severe labile or severe brittle. I don't care what it's called, whether it's brittle or, well, that sounds like you're doing something to cause it. I'm type 1. And, I've gone to emergency and had a low blood sugar, and my doctor said, well, you don't need an insulin pump. You're a type 2. And it's like, no, I'm not. I'm a type 1. And I got into, I don't know why, but it just irked me. I got into an argument with the doctor and saying, no, I'm a brittle type 1 diabetic. No, you're a type 2. Now they look at your age and they look at your weight. Yes, I'm a big guy. I'm trying to do something about it. But, I didn't do anything to get in this predicament. So, stop. You could almost see disgust in his eyes. It was almost like he deals so much with type 2 diabetics that when a type 1 diabetic comes in, as soon as we stop being the cute youngster, you can't have diabetes, you must be a type 2 now. Sometimes type 1s do grow up, and we don't, magically change. So, labile diabetics, or labile, or whatever it is, brittle diabetes, yes, it's a thing. Yes, I live it every single day. Right now, we're doing a hell of a lot better with it. But some days I can go crazy with my blood sugars and be super high and be totally thirsty all the time. And other times it's like, yeah, fine, I'll drink, but I'm not really thirsty. So, I know a lot of times, especially with doctors who are in the ER, are there to get things moving, but when someone comes in and says, no, they're a type 1, oh well, let's do a whole blood work and do blood tests again, which I think it's called a C-peptide, if I'm not mistaken, that proves I'm at least a type 1. There's nothing that proves whether you're labile or not. It's just taking a look at your blood sugars. Now, just because you're difficult to control doesn't mean you're a brittle diabetic. They're not interchangeable. You have to meet some criteria. So, I think out of all the brittle type diabetics that are out there, I think they say it's about 3 in 1,000. I'm in the 2% of those people that have problems. If I ever have to go into surgery, I'm going to have problems after. So you know what? Doctors, pay attention. Sometimes the patients do know what they talk about. Anyway, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.